I've done it again. More pickups. Okay, before we go through what I've bought in the last couple of weeks, there was a comment on my video on the pickups when I thought I'd bought Desert Strike from the Kirkby Sales and Exchange, but it turned out to be a Songbird reproduction. And it was Stu Tootie who asked what the difference was between the cartridges, how I knew it was a reproduction. I think Songbird do quite a few repros, reissues, repros, whatever you want to call them. And I think it's mostly telegames games. I think they might have had some kind of deal with telegames to re-release some of those. So they're not strictly bootleg or fake in any way, but they're not original releases. And when you actually see the cartridge, you kind of realize I'll show you. I'll put some pictures up, and you'll see what the difference is. So there's early on, the early releases of the Lynx were like this, and they were just like a flat card. And these proved quite difficult to take in and out of the console. And later on, some of the cartridges, they put like a kind of little lip there so you could grab it and pull them out of the console. But then after that, most Atari Lynx cartridges, although they look quite similar from the front, they've actually got this lip on the see that lip there that you can grab and put get the cartridge out of the console a bit easier. So I'll put an image up of what it should be like, and then I'll put an image of what I was sent, and then obviously what I'll do is I'll put another image of what the real thing should look like again. So hopefully that explains that, and why it wasn't acceptable to me, because I want the original releases. But I'll reiterate again, Kirkby Sales and Exchange were perfectly fine. They gave me a refund, no problem, and the customer service is excellent. So now we'll get to the pickups, and we're going to start off with a bundle of untested consoles that I bought from that charity shop that I go to, where it's all untested, and I have to test it and try and fix it, anything that needs fixing or whatever. Anyway, these consoles, they had no controllers, but they did have some wires, and they did have a couple of little bundles of games with them. So I paid 30 quid for this bundle. I'll put that up on the screen now. The reason I've done that is because the PlayStation's actually already gone. I've put a controller with that and sent that into CEX to fund some of these pickups that I've got here now. The PlayStation 3, the disk drive was knackered on it, so I'm going to have a look at that, but it's been opened and the disk drive's knackered. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do much with that. I might look into trying to mod it and maybe put emulators on it and something like that. And the Xbox work, there's no controller with it, but the Xbox does work fine. But the warranty seal started to peel off. I'm not sure. I don't think it's ever been opened, but it is starting to peel off, the little warranty seal at the back. So I don't think CEX would take that. Maybe I can just stick it down a little bit more, so long as I'm happy that it does work properly. Anyway, we'll move on to the pickups that are actually going to stay in my collection, which I think is just about everything else I've got here. So we'll start off. I went to Durham, Arnes and Durham CEX, because I saw they had this in stock. I've been after this for a while, and I didn't actually realise that it's basically just a remake of the original game, and it's Resident Evil Deadly Silence on the DS. So this was everything. I think pretty much everything except one thing was with vouchers as well. So it's not cost me what the price anyway. Probably cost about a quarter of the price that you actually pay for it. So that was 45. I think that's since gone up to 48. So first one, Resident Evil Deadly Silence. Put that just behind me there. And then staying on the theme, this wasn't in the same visit. This was at Gateshead, Trinity Square CEX, and this is thanks to a recommendation from another YouTuber, Pixel Paul, who I believe is from. Obviously, I've lived in Newcastle for the last 25 years, but I'm originally from Manchester, and I believe he's not too far away from there. I think he lives in Bolton and he's a Bolton fan, but doesn't sound like much of a Bolton accent. So maybe he's originally from closer to Manchester than Bolton. I don't know, but that's not for me to say, really, is it? But Paul, if you're watching this, let me know. We've got Aliens Infestation. So thanks for the recommendation on that one. I've given that one a little go so far, but I will be getting into that and I'll be giving that a proper play. So again, thanks for the recommendation on that one. Put that with Resident Evil Deadly Silence there. And the next one up, I can't remember which CEX I got this from in the end, but following on from the Battle of Naboo Star Wars game I got, and the what was the second one that I bought? Oh, the Pod Racer game. We got Star Wars Rogue Squadron. That was only £6. So we've got that one. I have decided for the moment to just get them cartridge only, and then if I do like the games further down the line, I might upgrade them to complete copies. So that's Rogue Squadron, and then continuing the theme, this one was from Cramlington CEX. It was £8, and we got Shadows of the Empire. So I believe we've now got all those, and we've just because we've got the battered box and we paid unboxed price anyway, not from CEX, but similar to unboxed price from the cash converters. The Battle of Naboo one we do actually have in a box, but the rest of them are all loose cartridges. But I do think I have them all now. And then up to Ashington CEX next, and the first one we got was on the Super Nintendo. Very cheap game, but one I've wanted for a while. Needs a bit of a clean. Kevin Keegan's Player Manager was only £2.50, but we're only collecting cartridge only. This one doesn't actually seem to be that common to find, and like I say, it was available in Ashington, so got that. And while I was there in Ashington, on there was another game that had been listed as Speedball 2 for the Master System, and when I got there to have a look at it, it was £10. Got there to have a look at it. I don't think they actually even stock this one, so I don't know whether I've got a good deal or not paying £10 for this. But it's actually Speedball 2 on the Mega Drive. It's in really nice condition. The cartridge, the case, and the manual. There's a little bit of like curl on the manual, but apart from that, it's in very nice condition. So from CEX, just to prove it there, from CEX, Speedball 2 on the Mega Drive, which I don't think they actually stock, was listed as Speedball 2 for the Master System. And next, we'll go with this one. The next one, I think, was from North Shield CEX, and I saw this in the window, listed as unboxed, and it is definitely unboxed. But I did get the manuals with it as well, and it's Shadow of the Beast on the Master System, which it was like that on top of a couple of other Master System games, and it's definitely unboxed because although we've got the cartridge, we've got the manual. You've probably already seen by the way it's cut. It's a homemade. It's on brochure paper, which is at least half decent, but it's a homemade cut down version of the inlay, and it's in this. I don't know. Is that a Betamax video case? I'm not even sure. If so, the case might be worth more than the game because the game was only £4. But we paid unboxed price for it, and we got the manual with it as well, and we got a Betamax video case. So that's a Shadow of the Beast. I'm going to take that out of that though. I'm going to actually print my own inlay off and stick it in a Master System. Proper Master System case, and I'm not going to be trying to sell it or anything, so it's not like, it's just literally for the aesthetics of it with my own collection. So we've got the Shadow of the Beast with the manual. Okay, the sound might sound a bit different because I've taken the mic off for this bit because I forgot to add in something. It is retro. It's not strictly speaking video games, but it does add to my collection, and you'll see why it does tie into video games now. I was in a North Shields buying a couple of bits. I think it was the Shadow of the Beast, the unboxed one that came in the Betamax case. So I'll try and add this in before the end of the video, but after I've showed those pickups if I can. So there might be a strange jump cut where I come in and do this bit. But it's actually this digital photo frame. It's a Sony one. And I don't know if it's I might have to put it this way to show you properly. This is why I bought it. If it's actually going to show. I don't know why the clock. I must have pressed something. I must have pressed something different. Oh, there we go. So I've put the images of all the different Atari Jaguar games in my collection on this digital photo frame. and I think it looks quite good. In fact, I think it looks fantastic. So let me know what you think about this as well. That was a £5. Still, it came in the box and everything, brand new. Still had the tape around the outside of the frame on the edges there. So stuck all the images of the Atari Jaguar games on a SD card, whacked it in, and now this is what I've got. I don't know why the clock keeps popping up now though, because before it was just a full image of all the Atari Jaguar games. Anyway, I forgot to put that in, so I'm adding this in now. Cheers. And the next one, I went to Gateshead Metro Centre CEX. I took my daughter up there actually to get her an SSD for a computer, and we managed to get that. And while I was there, I asked for a particular game, and the girl went to look for it and said, "Oh, we haven't got it in stock. We must have taken Mickey Mouse Land of Illusion and instead by mistake and mixed them up." And I thought, well, I don't know how you get those two mixed up. And then when I got home, I noticed they still had both as listed in stock. So I think they did have a copy of Mickey Mouse Land of Illusion. Anyway, I went back a couple of days later and I asked for the game again, which was Arcade Smash Hits. It's just the cartridge only, but it was only £5 for this. I think it's about £18 without the manual, is it, or is that with manual? But it's a lot more expensive anyway. But I would pay that if it was in the box complete. But a lot of my collection on the Master System is unboxed anyway. So we've got Arcade Smash Hits, and again, that's one I've been looking for a little while. That doesn't seem to come into stock very often. I think that might have been the only unboxed one in stock at the time. And while I was there, I noticed something behind the counter, which I'll get to. I'm going to leave till the very last pickup, even though it'll be out of order. I'm going to leave it to the very last. This will be a clue because I saw this as well, and it's in very nice condition. And like I said, I'll only be getting Nintendo 64 games. I'll only be paying for the boxed, like for the complete one, if it's one that I had back in the day when we originally had a Nintendo 64. And this is one of those. And although it's not an expensive game, 1080 snowboarding, it's very, very nice condition. I'll get the contents out. But you know, there's not even any creasing on the main flap of the box there. And we've got, if I can actually get the tray out, a little bit of marking on the inlay tray there, but there's the cartridge, and we've got the precautions leaflet with a little bit of curling on there, but a little bit of an iron will sort that out. And again, a little bit of curling on the manual, but all in all, in very nice condition. So just stick that back in the box. You know what I'm like with boxes and box protectors. But again, I mean, look at the condition of that. It could have, honestly, I think that could have just come out of the shop. But anyway, so that'll give you a clue as to what the last pickup was. But it's a good one because I'm not even sure where to put that now. I'll have to rest that on that controller there. Next one. On the way back from the Metro Centre, we went to the normal Gateshead CEX, and they had some original Xbox games, and they had a couple listed up. One was listed not correctly. It had the wrong label on it. It was listed as Doom, I think, or Doom 3. Anyway, the first one, I wanted this for a while, but I've waited for it in a decent condition, complete with manual, and it's Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and also next to it, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and they are both nice and complete with the manual in good condition. I say in good condition, I'll get to that in a second. And then they had this Bruce Lee Quest to the Dragon game that was listed as Doom 3, and it was listed at £3, so that's why I picked it up. I didn't look too close at the label. I just thought, oh, that looks quite interesting for £3. When I got it to the counter, it was actually £8, but it was with vouchers again, so I'm not complaining too much. The discs have all got a little bit of surface scratching on, and she told me that at the moment the disc resurfacer is away being serviced, but they've said to me that if I go back when the machine's back, they will give those all a polish for me and not charge me for it. So thanks very much for that. They're always great in that CEX in Trinity Square in Gateshead. Never had any bad experiences there, and they're always spot on, the staff there, and like I say, they said they'll clean those for us when it's when the machine's back. So great. And then actually, I should have probably done this when I did the. Oh no, I'm not out of order. So I might cut that bit out and start that sentence again, but I might not as well. I might as well just leave it in. It doesn't matter. After I'd come back from the Metro Centre, I thought I was done for the day. But I was just scrolling through the website and it came up that someone had brought some Atari Lynx games into CEX in North Shields. So I went up to have a look at those. But as well as the Atari Lynx games, which I'll show you in a second, I did get a Dreamcast VMU, which I've got the controller and the console and a few games, but I haven't had a VMU yet. So that's why I've not really been playing on them, because I couldn't save. Like for example, I want to Resident Evil Code Veronica is one that I started back at the time, and I got quite far through it, but I never actually finished the game. So this time, when I start it on Magnus and that, and I will finish. And the Atari Lynx games that came in were but they were just condition upgrades. I've already got these cartridge only, so I'll be able to hopefully offset the cost as well. I'll recoup some cash for a voucher spend, which will be quite nice. The first one, these are in good condition as well. It's Checkered Flag, so it's not one of the greatest. It's not one of the greatest titles on the Atari Lynx, but I didn't have that boxed with the manual, and this one is complete with the manual. These are horrible. Very difficult to open the boxes without creasing anything. So even they've got the precautions leaflet. I think both of these, the manual is kind of like a poster, but I'm pretty sure that does count for what the manual is on these. So because they're a bit difficult to open, I'm not going to. Actually, this one's not too bad, so I will open this one as well. The other one is Stun Runner. Just get a little bit of a better look at that there. And again, the manual is kind of like a poster that folds up. But again, I do believe that's all that came with these when they were released. There's the poster. I think Awesome Golf is another one. I do have only cartridge only. And I think the manual on that one as well is kind of a poster rather than an actual manual. So I'll just put those on the shelf there with the rest of the Atari. That one's not going to stand up, so I'll put them on the back actually here, next to Mario. And then this is again, it's CEX. It's in town, Granger Street, and I just got a couple of Nintendo third-party AV cables. Now I've got two consoles to show, and the first one might mean I'm cheating being a retro collector, but I have seen a couple of people that I watch have had one of these, or they have one of these, or they have had in the past. The reason I'd held off on getting one was one that I wanted to wait until I could get one for a good price, and also I'd heard a few stories that maybe there was a bit of input lag and that kind of thing. In one of my previous, I think it was the the Newcastle gaming market video, you saw that I picked up a couple of Japanese games, and I did already have Batman Forever, so not Forever, Batman Returns, the good one. I've got Batman Returns, I've got Final Fight, and I've got Final Fight 2 Japanese games. So what I've bought, and it actually came with it, I'll show you. I just had to lean down for that. The original price tag on this was £130. But my wife bought me this and she only paid £60, and it was like £68 with the postage as well. Anyway, enough talking. She got me a Retron 5. So I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I've mostly bought it for capturing footage. And also, if you play, I watched another video on this and it turns out that it looks like it's correct. I've been playing this on a gaming monitor with an original controller rather than with this crappy controller that you get with it. And if you're on a monitor with a normal controller, I can't see any discernible lag, so I'm quite happy with this. And it plays, obviously, if you've had one of these or you know about these, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, Genesis, Famicom, but I think it plays all the regions of those as well, which will come in very handy. And this, if I can show you this, I'm not sure anyone's ever bothered with this. I've had it out of the box just to test to make sure it works. I had a little blast on Final Fight and Final Fight 2 to make sure those cartridges work as well. But this again, like I say, it was not £130, it was £60. So just to capture footage, but hopefully to enjoy the games, to be fair, but just to capture footage, £60 got to be a bit of a bargain for one of those, I think. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's any good? 60 quid, a decent price? Am I cheating because I'm supposed to be a retro collector? But I mean, the convenience of this to play it on a decent gaming monitor as well, I think that's going to turn out to be a good purchase regardless. Right, the last one. This goes with the 1080 snowboarding purchase from the Metro Centre. While I was stood there waiting for her to find arcade smash hits, which did take a while because apparently, even though it's a Master System game, it was in the box with the Game Boy cartridges. I looked and I caught it out of my eye, the price. It said £80 on it. And I said, can I have a look at that, please? I want to see why it's been listed as discounted. And it's this boxed Nintendo 64. And as I was walking out, I did buy this, obviously, because it's in my hand. As I was walking out of the Metro Centre, I thought, hang on, because I didn't realise this at the time until I got to the car and looked at the label. I thought, hang on, I've just paid £80 for a discounted Nintendo 64. I'm sure they're only £65. So I had a quick look on the app and I thought, and it says, oh, £80 is for one with an expansion pack. And sure enough, I got to the car, opened it up, and it's got an expansion pack in as well. I'll show you that now anyway. But again, like I say, this has been listed as discounted, and it's still got the bags, the manual, the power supply, everything's in there. And I think when she took it out of the box, she said it had been discounted because this might have been Frankenstein in some way. The bottom of this controller, this grey controller, is actually green. I don't know if that's if one ever came like that. I've tried to have a look and I don't think one ever did. So I think someone's maybe put two controllers together to make one decent one. I don't know. But anyway, I've got 3-4 of their standard grey controllers. So one of those will go in this box and it'll be a perfectly nice boxed Nintendo 64. And like I say, that's cost me £80 in vouchers. And what I'll do is, like I say, I'll put one of my grey controllers with this, and I'll put this controller with the green bottom with a loose Nintendo 64 that I've got. I'll either sell that or trade that in, and this will end up costing me £20-30 worth of vouchers, which will have cost me probably 5 or 10 quid to make. So I can't complain with that really. So that concludes my recent pickups. Hopefully my next video will be an Atari Jaguar collection. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway, so hopefully you will be interested. But let me know. Let me know about the Retron. Do you think any of those are particularly good or bad deals? What do you think about them stocking Speedball 2 as and listing it as a Master System game when they don't even stock the Mega Drive game? And I think that'll be it for this one. So thanks for watching, and hopefully, like I say, the next one will be Atari Jaguar collection. Hopefully you'll tune in for that one, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.